Does anyone even remember Alvin and the Chipmunks? I mean, they just came out of nowhere. I mean, one guy had an idea when he listened to a song. What if I pitched them up? He did it and then got another idea. What if I made characters that sing these songs pitched up? And it became a reality. And let me tell you something. These movies, these movies are about to make me rage. These movies are about to make me rage the hell out. Spoiler alert, the first two are fine. They're perfectly fine. But the rest...
Dude, shut the hell up!
Whoa. What the hell are you? I thought that'd be John. He's always in my videos. Who the hell are you?
I'm actually glad you asked me. The name is Ronnie, a robot. Glad to meet you. You are Brayden, correct?
Yeah. How'd you figure that out? I mean, I didn't think you know me.
Yeah, that's a good question. I ran up to this guy. He came running to me. His name is John or something.
God, no.
And, he told me about this guy named Brayden. He's like, you gotta meet this guy. He's super annoying. He yells at me all the time. And I don't know where he's coming from. Are you actually like that?
Ronnie, nice to meet you. Second of all, no, I am not like that. John is my investor. He just wants money from me. And I think he actually got fired 2 weeks ago, so... nothing to worry about, dude. I'm nothing like that. By the way, I'm sorry for you yelling earlier, doing the ha thing. That kind of felt mean on my part.
No. You're good. No. You're good. Good. Good.
Okay, that was weird. But actually, Ronnie, I was thinking you should be the next John. I mean, John can still appear in these videos, but I think you could be the next John popping up in these videos.
For real? Me being in your video? We haven't even met yet and you already like me?
Well, I wouldn't say I like you yet. I don't know how you act, first of all. I don't even know how you act, so that's for now, okay? Second of all, can you actually leave? Maybe not for disrespect, but I gotta film a video here, and the audience is probably bored at this point.
Oh, I got you, of course. I wouldn't want to make your audience bored or anything. It's not like any of them left the video or anything like that.
Yeah. Not like any of them left the video or anything. But... okay, Ronnie, get out of here. See you later, bud.
Alrighty. I'll see you later, Brayden. Up to the I go.
Where was I? What was I speaking about? Wow, that guy was really cool. Oh, right. Alvin. The first two movies are fine, but the rest of them are kind of... a lot to talk about. The director of the first Alvin has come a very long way with some movies, like Hop and many other movies. Justice to say, he has a lot of live-action hybrid experience. And let me tell you, his live-action hybrid stuff is not even good. But you're probably asking, what happened to Alvin? Why is there not any more movies about it? Why is there only 4 of them? Well, controversial topic here, but the 4th Alvin and the Chipmunks movie flopped at the box office. This made 20th Century Fox abandon the Alvin and the Chipmunks brand and not even touch them for the rest of their lives, which was probably a smart decision in my opinion, because Alvin and the Chipmunks is such a kid brand, honestly. So, to torture myself with more editing and to watch a lot of more bad movies, I thought it'd be a horrible and great idea to watch every live-action Alvin and the Chipmunks movie to 1 to 4. This shouldn't be too bad. Right? Alright. You guys are probably gonna ask me, what is the best Alvin and the Chipmunks songs? Or is there any good ones out there? As embarrassing as it is, I think the Christmas song is the only good one out there. But back on topic, so I can torture myself, Alvin and the Chipmunks 1 live-action movie. This is a movie. It exists. And I had to review it. What did I do? What did I do to deserve this Alvin and Chipmunks is one of the 4 movies in the Alvin and the Chipmunks live-action franchise, and it's utter garbage, in my opinion. But compared to the rest of the 3 coming up, this is probably the best one. You're probably asking, what's the plot about? It's an Alvin and Chipmunks movie, but what could they possibly do with an Alvin and Chipmunks movie to begin with? Well, actually, it's kind of used well. So the plot is about Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. Trust me, Alvin is not that bad in this movie. He will become the reason these movies are getting worse. But back on topic, it's about these 3 brothers who are kind of lost after the tree got chopped down by some workers, and they find themselves in the home of David Seville. David Seville is a person who has a big heart for music, but then throws away all his music stuff after this guy named Ian doesn't really like his stuff, which, I will be honest, is kind of a reasonable thing back in the 2000s. So the Chipmunks crash into his place, and then David realizes they can sing. So David gets an idea to use these chipmunks for his music career. And they make a music called Christmas Day, which happens to be a bop in this movie, and the only good bop. So David takes them to Ian, but after getting nothing but silence from the chipmunks because they were embarrassed, Ian kicks them out. But then after the chipmunks feel bad after ruining David's date with his love interest, the Chipmunks get a great idea to go to Ian's house and sing the song, which, I will be fair, was a kind of sweet moment in my opinion. But it's Alvin and Chipmunks, I'm not taking this seriously. So while they're in the grocery store, the song that the Chipmunks played for Ian actually starts to play in the grocery store, which happens to mean that the song was a big success. So Ian, the greedy guy himself, obviously begs for the Chipmunks to sing more songs. But after Dave gets mad at the Chipmunks for a very reasonable thing, Ian takes the Chipmunks to live at his place, which happens to be the best place on Earth in their opinion. But the Chipmunks will realize that this is kind of a big nightmare after Ian kind of treats them back and makes them do a lot of more stuff, making them very exhausted. And one of them, Chipmunks, Theodore, kind of wishes to go back to Dave, but the 2 don't obviously care. The 2 are Alvin and Simon. They don't really care for Theodore until the very end. So after the Chipmunks kind of screw up their play, Ian takes them and tries to, I forgot, but Dave saves them. And then the Chipmunks kind of forgive Dave for what they did earlier, and they kind of hug, which I will admit is pretty good. And David gives up music career just for these little guys, which is a great lesson. The lesson being that family matters more than your music career. Surprisingly, this movie had a very low budget, which I am not surprised. And the budget kind of went into the music department when licensing some music. Even though this is kind of the best one in the franchise, that doesn't mean it's a good movie. Plot predictable, some characters are underdeveloped like David's love interests. And Alvin is actually fine in this movie. He's not great, but he's fine. Unlike the other sequels on this list. Ian was probably the best part of this whole movie because he was actually very funny and actually pretty reasonable at the time. But this movie just has an itch, you know, just a little itch for licensing music and just pitching them up just to sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks are singing them. While they're reasonable, the song licensing makes sense in this movie. It's still, you just focus on that instead of an actual story. The humor is... It's not bad, but I thought it would be. But it's got to be the most humor I think I have ever seen in my whole life. When you first see the marketing for this movie, you know exactly what the hell the humor is going to be like. Fart and poop jokes every single second, like Illumination does. But look, underneath all its goofy and kind of not seriously goofy moments, it does try to tell an emotional story about family. Which, it's fine. It's not emotional breaking stuff like Pixar. But it's fine, okay? It's not great, but it's perfect for what it's trying to do. Out of the 3 Chipmunks, you're probably asking this, what is my favorite one? Don't hate me, but it was Simon, honestly. And you're probably asking this question, out of the 3 Chipmunks, what is your favorite one? This is going to be a controversial take, but Simon is probably my favorite one. I don't know how. Don't ask me how. I thought I hate him too. He's a nerd, Chipmunks. I thought I would hate this one. But he was actually pretty funny for some reason. I don't know. I really feel like Theodore gets kind of worse, but does but he's probably the sweetest one out of them, which, I won't lie, was pretty cute, okay? Overall, Alvin and the Chipmunks 1 is the best one out of the 4 franchise ones. But it's seriously not a good movie if you think about it not franchise, okay? If you think about this as a standalone movie, it's kind of garbage, honestly. It doesn't try at all with the story. It just focuses on brand deals all the time, and it kind of felt like it was just a big commercial for music, which, I will admit, the music deal did make sense, but there was just so much music in, okay? Some characters are pretty forgettable, like David's love interest, which was kind of underused because you could have made a great story with these two together. But for some reason, they didn't. I didn't really care for her, honestly. I love David in this movie. He was pretty likable. I love his story about his love interest, even though it didn't get developed. And I do love the redemption of this guy, learning to give up music career for family, which I love. Overall, Alvin and the Chipmunks is actually a great movie in the franchise, but as a standalone film itself, pretty garbage, okay? Get it? The Squeakquel, because they're chipmunks, and they squeak, so that's why it's called the Squeak. This movie, oh boy, it's so forgettable. The story is nothing to write home about. It isn't really good here. And this movie just loves licensing copyrighted music. It just copyrighted music all over the place. It doesn't care. The whole reason the first movie had licensed copyrighted music because it made sense. It was a music deal with these guys. And the sequel, I think they just wanted to add it because I don't think they actually cared if it actually mattered or not. The plot, the plot. It's a plot. Plot is, during a concert, Alvin sends Dave to the hospital because he's an idiot and didn't know what to do. And now his aunt, or no, Dave's mom, I think, it's an aunt, has to watch them. But then she gets hurt as well because Toby was an idiot. So Toby now has to watch Alvin and the Chipmunks. And also, after this all happened, Dave actually signed an agreement for Alvin and Simon and Theodore to actually go to school. So Alvin and Simon and Theodore go to school. And during all this, Ian is kind of broke and lost everything. And then he sees these things called chipettes, which I will admit, I think they got a little too carried away, making these 3 sexualize a little bit, making them sexy look. Ugh. I think they thought about that too hard. The chipettes are kind of unoriginal, in my opinion. It's chipmunks, but it's girls, and that's the idea. That somehow got pitched and greenlit. So Ian sees this as an opportunity to get back what he has. So he starts using them to make songs and sends them to school to make them more popular than the chipmunks. But after the girls find out what Ian truly is, Ian captures them, and Alvin goes to save them, and they have a school play, and Dave is okay. Jesus Christ, dude, what the hell is even this plot? I cannot even tell you what happened because it doesn't even focus on the main story. It just does school shenanigans because the chipmunks are at school, and that's it. It just focuses on that. The story is so predictable and very forgettable, honestly. David is underused in this movie because he was in the hospital the entire movie, and he was kind of forgettable. I mean, the guy from the first movie who was so important didn't get enough screen time. Like, why? David was cool in the first one. Why is he not in this one? Ugh. The chipettes are cool. I love the stuff they did with the chipettes. For some reason, this movie tried too hard to make them sexual look. Like sexy looky, you know, Gwen or something like that, you know what I mean? And it kind of failed at doing that because I didn't really, who would even do that? Who would even call them sexy? Like, let's be honest, what? Look, the comedy is kind of good, it's kind of a little better, but Alvin kind of got worse in this movie. He's not as bad as in the third movie, but we'll talk about that later. Alvin, his whole thematic is he doesn't care about his brothers. He only cares about popularity at school. And he has to learn that popularity doesn't matter and brothers matter more. Yes, that's the plot. I mean, when Simon and Theodore do meet the girl version of theirs, I guess it's pretty enjoyable to see. I thought they would fall in love, but for some reason, this movie just tells you they're kind of related to each other, which I don't know why they did that. I just wish they made them couples, but yeah. It's Brittany, Jeanette, and I forgot the other one. Jesus Christ. While 2 isn't bad in this franchise, it's a little better than the first one, but it's so forgettable if you think about it as a standalone movie. Dave gets no screen time. Alvin is kind of a jerk in this movie, but not that big of a jerk as he's going to be in the third movie. I will admit, Ian was kind of likable in this movie. He's still likable as in the first movie, which I guess that was the only carrying part about the whole movie. It's just, I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to say about this movie. This movie is so weird. It has the weirdest pacing, of all time. Ugh. And the jokes, the bully jokes, how they're getting bullied on the first day of school was kind of terrible, honestly. So, overall, the Squeakquel was fine in the franchise, but as a standalone film, it's kind of forgettable. The amount of anger that it is about to unleash out of my mouth. This movie is just a giant commercial for a boat. I'm not pulling your leg by that, by the way. An Alvin and Chipmunks 3 movie is a commercial for a boat. A carnival boat, by the way. If you were curious about what boat I am talking about. A carnival boat. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. A freaking carnival boat. A carnival boat. That's what I was talking about. And the movie does such a great job, an actually amazing job, at letting you know you're on a carnival boat. You're on a carnival cruise ship. It's so f***ing stupid. Every single time there's product placement. A boat is a product placement. That's crazy if you think about it. You got Space Jam 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Sponge on a Run, and now you got this film. Let's send some prayers out to Ian. The voice actor of Ian stated that this was one of the worst filming experiences he has ever had. And honestly, I wouldn't blame him, because being in that pelican suit the entire movie might have sucked. But what's the story? Is the story even good? This is the Alvin and Chipmunks movie. What do you think? So Dave, our great buddy here, Dave, decides to book a cruise ship with the Alvin and the Chipettes. So they get on the boat, and there's already some shenanigans. Alvin is messing with everybody on the boat. And if he keeps messing up, the captain is eventually going to kick him out of the boat and just let him drown to death. Which, please let that happen. So Alvin tries to be good, but he doesn't and sneaks out and goes to the casino. And yes, this is another product placement scene. We're just playing on the carnival's casino place. It's ugh. And Simon tries to stop Alvin, but they both get in trouble. And yeah, Alvin is just pissed at Dave at this point. And I cannot express to you how much Alvin is such a kid in this movie. Yes, he's a kid. I know that. But he's got to be the baddest kid I think I've ever seen in my whole life, right next to Junior from SML. And at the end of the movie, he still doesn't learn anything. He still acts the same way. Even though he learned the lesson on the island, he still goes back to his old way because this movie doesn't give a about lessons. I haven't even gotten to the plot. I'm already losing my damn mind. So eventually Alvin gets into more trouble, but then they kind of fall off the boat and they're now stranded on an island. And they meet this girl who I forgot the name. I don't care to look it up. I don't give a fuck. Don't want to. She's been on this island for a long time, and she doesn't know what Alvin and the Chipmunks are. And Simon gets bit by a spider, and he starts hallucinating, thinking he's some type of person called Simone or something. Look, I love my boy Simon in the first movie. I love how they gave him more screen time, but I think he was so stupid when he turned into Simone. I will admit something. Just one thing. I love how this movie gives Jeanette and Simon a love story. I think that's pretty cool. Pretty Jeanette. I wanted that to happen in the second movie, because Simon is the GOAT. But everybody else's relationship sucks. I do love the side plot of David and Ian falling off the boat and they have to find where the Chipettes and Chipmunks are. And that's pretty cool because I like Ian in this movie too. Even though this was his last film because he didn't want to return for the fourth one, which was probably a reasonable thing considering the actor of Ian said this was one of the worst experiences he ever experienced in his whole life. So fair enough. And you bet your bottom that this movie was a box office success and one was the biggest animated movies of the year it came out. I don't love that. I think it should be at the bottom of the year. It shouldn't even be a thing, honestly. Why does this exist? Oh, right, to sell boats. To sell boats. To sell boats. Overall, I do not care what nobody says. This is one of the worst ones in the franchise. It doesn't try with the story. It doesn't try with the characters except Jeanette and Simon. It doesn't even try to tell a good story. It doesn't even try to be funny. It does be funny. But it's the stupidest humor I think I have ever seen. Simon and Jeanette are the only likable characters in the slightest. Maybe Theodore. Hell, maybe Theodore. But everybody else, garbage. Jesus Christ, how? How do you mess a movie up so bad? It's like they didn't even try. Did not try at all. Okay, I will admit, I did love this movie as a kid, but what the hell was I thinking as a kid? If I had one positive, this is the only positive I had. The animation on the Chipmunks has gotten better, honestly. It does look pretty good on them. But that doesn't mean anything, okay? It's still a garbage movie. Regardless if you have good animation, that doesn't change the fact that your movie is still garbage. So overall, Alvin and the Chipmunks Shipwreck is a terrible movie of all time. And probably one of the worst movies I even rated on this channel, honestly. It is slop. Get out of my face and get in the bed! I don't know how I just noticed this, but every single Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, always came out on Christmas for some reason. Back on topic, Alvin and the Chipmunks for the Road Trip. It's not a good movie, but it's at least better than the third one, honestly. The animation on the Chipmunks and the Chipettes were pretty good. The Chipettes got little less screen time, which I thought was a little disappointing, but there was a good reason. They were working at American Idol. Anyway, the plot is that the Chipmunks think Dave is gonna propose to the girl he likes, and they go on a cross road trip to stop him from proposing to this woman. They team up with the girl he likes' son. The girl has a son, and they team up to stop the wedding thing happening. But turns out Dave wasn't gonna propose. He was gonna give it to another couple. So the Chipmunks apologize, and Dave officially adopts them at the end. It was so boring. This movie actually flopped in the box office. Right? I'm shocked. I thought this would be a box office success because it's Alvin and the Chipmunks. But nope, this movie flopped in the box office because nobody cared for Alvin and the Chipmunks anymore, which is pretty reasonable. And after that happened, 20th Century Fox said, hell no, we're not making any more of these if they're not going to do great in the box office. And they kind of stopped. And it kind of killed the Alvin and the Chipmunks brand, so I don't think this movie is entirely bad. It's on the same level as the first one. The animation's good. The story does try again. But some of the humor is so weird to me. It's it has the same feel from the first movie. Poop and fart jokes. But some of them actually are better than the first movie, in my opinion. I actually like the plot in this movie because it was a great refresher from the third movie. It actually made me feel like this was the first movie again. Which it wasn't. But at least the plot was at least better than the third one, so I can give it some praise. Every character was likable. I didn't expect that. Every character is still likable. The plot is kind of bad, honestly. It's Alvin. It's bad. So yeah, I think this is good in the franchise, but as a movie on its own, it's kind of bad. Yeah, all these four movies are really bad. If you think about them as a standalone film on their own. If you think about them as a standalone film, they are really bad. Not even close to Hollywood good stuff. But if you think about some of them as a franchise, some of them are pretty enjoyable. If you don't take them too seriously. I'm just sick and tired of this video, man. I really want it to end. Please, someone cut the video. Please! So, overall, Alvin and Chipmunks, The Road Trip, is not a bad movie in the franchise. It's actually pretty enjoyable. But as a standalone movie, It's pretty bad. Finally. This video shouldn't took a whole week to make, but somehow it did. So overall, the Alvin and the Chipmunks brand is very bad. It's just a kid brand. And I will admit, as a child, I did love these, and they do have a nostalgia to me, but they are bad. All of them are bad. Except 3, maybe. No, scratch that. All of them are bad. What am I saying? Throughout this whole video experience, I had to watch every single one of them, 1 to 4, and I suffered amount of pain. But this movie started a trend with live action and hybrid characters like Alvin, Yogi Bear, and so much more. And most of the live action hybrid movies are bad, except for Looney Tunes Back in Action. I think that's actually a solid movie, but I'll talk about that later. If I had to describe the Alvin and the Chipmunks brand, it would be the franchise that would eventually die, because it actually did die, because the TV show got canceled, and 20th Century Fox said, hell no, we don't want to do a 5th movie of a 4th movie that flopped at the box office. Hell no, we're not doing that. And they just threw the brand out the window, and kind of a good reason, honestly. Yeah, I'm finally done with the video. Thank God, I'm tired. So, that's gonna do it with today's video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. We are very close to, well, not very close. We're just trying to get to our goal of 200 subscribers. And please, enjoy. Have a blessed day. Bye. Whew, okay, I'm finally done with that video. That video was hell. Anyway, what else do I have to...
Hey there, Brayden. You remember me? Ronnie. We met in the beginning of the video. I'm pretty sure you should remember me.
Oh, I thought it was John. Hey, Ronnie, what are you doing?
Oh, nothing. Nothing that important. I was just talking to John. He's a guy. He's a very confusing guy, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That sounds very close to John. So, how'd you even get here? How?
Honestly, I don't even know. I was just rocking. I was a robot. I was created by some mad scientist, and I escaped because he was a horrible person, probably one of the worst people on the planet. I came across John. He told me, don't go to this guy named Brayden. He's a horrible person. He treats me very bad. It's okay. I didn't even know who John was. He just told me my name and just left. It told me about you. I went to your place, and yeah, you're not that bad, honestly.
Oh, finally, a person who actually loves me on this channel. I honestly didn't feel like I meet anyone who likes me on this channel. I thought John and you would hate me.
What? Why would I hate you? You're amazing, man. You're not boring. You're funny. You can sometimes yell a lot. It's pretty good. I think you're a perfect person, in my opinion.
Thanks, man.
Anyway, Brayden, I think I heard a video you're working on. I think it's coming out. I don't know what it's called. I think it was called Dream.